Well, hello there. Me and my wife are just about packed up and headed out of St. Louis and about to do our last leg of our going home trip. It's been a fun trip. We ran into some rain, like I said yesterday, in Bloomington, Illinois, and stopped there in St. Louis. I wanted to take a video of the arch, but it was raining and couldn't see nothing. So we might make another trip later for that, but right now we're both tired and want to get home. But I am going to do some motovlogging today, so not much to see from here to Oklahoma. So, but I'll do some vlogging while we're taking a trip back home. Till then, catch you here in a second.
That's me again. Me and the wife just left the hotel. We're driving on the west side of St. Louis. So anyway, apologize for not making a lot of video yesterday. We were stuck with visiting family in Rockford, and then we caught in some rain. It's a pretty good downpours from Illinois to Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. As you guys seen my shorts, we were pretty soaked and wet, but we did have suits, but my wife's wetsuit was kind of old and torn. We just realized it, so she got pretty wet yesterday, and I was okay. I got a little wet on close to my boot. I got a Harley Davidson wetsuit, so it did a pretty good job. But anyway, switch lanes here, driving through St. Louis traffic on an early Monday morning. Fun. Okay, but let's explain to you what happened all weekend. It was fun. I had a blast. My wife, I think she had a blast. I don't think she likes the long distance motorcycle rides or motorcycle road trips. So maybe in the future, if I might be trailing it, but it was something that we can mark it off our bucket list, something we did and said we done. But anyway, I got fascinating stories to tell you. Well, I think the only fascinating story is I had an incident Saturday night at the concert. Me and my wife were back there in the jockey stage. I don't know, if you guys look at the pictures, is that little building where they hook up the audio and stuff and make music. It's front stage, right? There was a barrier that went. We were back on the back barrier to the, I call it jockey stage. I don't know what they really originally called audio stage, but it was all nice and roomy until, of course, the turnpike troubadours, everybody started to fill in. But anyway, Chris Stapleton started playing, right? So here comes this young douchebag. Sorry, don't, if I offend you, sorry for saying, but he was a douchebag. But I was sitting on the rail, leaning against the wheel, and he came over and he's like, "Hey, that's Jason Bobosha right there." I'm like, what the fuck? But, pardon my French. Okay, pardon my French, but he was really pushing me off the rail. And I was leaning against it and making me knock into my wife, and I'm like, I couldn't understand what he was saying at first. Mobosa, I was like, well, dude, you gotta go to the bar for that. But I see him, Jason Momoa, or whatever his name is, Aquaman, he was saying. So there was a set of guys that I kept knocking hands with. They were dressed in Hawaiian shirts. They were big dudes. I didn't really pay attention. I thought they were just regular security guards. So So, but this guy, young dude, came up and started pushing on me. He said, "Hey, can I say hi to Jason? Let me." And they were telling him, "No, you can't. He's trying to watch a show." And I finally had put up with it, and I thought I was going to get my knuckles bleed. And I told him to fuck off. Pardon my French again, but I told him to fuck off. And he started to, of course, talk smack at me. And finally, I heard a guy on back of my back and say, "Hey, dude, just calm down. I'll say hi to you." And I looked back, and there was this kind of, I would say 6'5", long hair dude wearing a fishing hat. I'm like, "Who's this guy?" But it's funny because the guy shook his hand and he walked away. And I finally realized, hey, that might be the opera guy. So I looked behind there, and he was there grinning at me. So I just gave him a thumbs up. I said, and a nod, head nod. Yeah, I went on watching the show. My wife looked at it. She's like, "Yeah, that's Jason Momoa." So, my first experience with face-to-face on a celebrity. So, yeah, I got to meet Aquaman. I didn't want to say hi to him, you know, I'm not a douche, like that one dude was. So I let him finish the show. He stood behind us for a little while. Everybody was taking selfies and shit. But my wife's like, "Nah, he's trying to enjoy the show. Let's just leave him alone." I said, "Yeah, that's a good idea." So I think about before Chris Stapleton his closer thing, he went up stage. I guess he went up there to play guitar for him or something. But anyway, that's my fascinating story of the trip. And I'm sorry for my cussing. It was just, I've noticed people in Oklahoma are a lot different than people in Wisconsin, or the northerners, I should say. They don't respect your personal space. I mean, they get right up in your face. I had several dudes that came up and like about nearly stepped on my toes. Dudes and women. Of course, they've been drinking all day and about to throw up and pass out. But we actually, it was a good experience. Yes, we got to talk to some good people while we were waiting. And some people were from Connecticut, and this group, a photo couple, they were with their 2 sons, and they were a pretty good vibe. There was another couple from Ohio that was there, two couples from Ohio, and they were pretty cool. They stood with us. And then of course Chris Stapleton came on. I could barely see him. Get a lot of, I would say, assholes and whatever came out and filled up the space. Wanted his autograph from Jason and all that bullshit. So actually just that one dude was. But anyway.
you, buddy. We're at our first stop for the day. Anyway, I just saw a sign. We're going to stop at Bucc'ees. We're just outside St. Louis, about an hour out of St. Louis. We didn't say, babe, like an hour or two. Anyway, yeah, we just stopped to get a drink and rest our legs a little bit, and yeah, it's tiring. It's tiring, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one later.
was, my wife was trying to figure out what I was doing, but I told her. Anyway, went in and shut off the Insta360. Give you a POV view of these mountains. They kind of videotaping off and on. We're on Interstate 44. It helps if I turn my radio down. Now you guys can hear me. So we're just about 90 miles east of Springfield, Missouri, and it's starting to get kind of pretty and all that stuff. So I want to take some pictures and stuff like that to show to y'all. I went and got some Insta360 videos for you guys. I thought I'd go ahead and put you on the GoPro and let you enjoy the view from what I'm seeing. But anyway, okay. Yeah, this is a pretty nice ride. If you ever, I know not much everybody likes to ride the interstates, but Interstate 44 between St. Louis to Joplin, Missouri, I heard is real pretty. And I'm getting to see it. So anyway, I've never been on. Me and the wife always take 2-lane highways, most of the time. So hopefully this year we'll be able to go to the Ozark, the bike at the lakes of the Ozark. That's up here. We're coming up towards it. I think it's in the center of Missouri there, so we might be just to the south of it. Over for this officer here. Okay.
Hello there, it's me again. We're stopped at Springfield, Bucc'ees, my favorite place to stop at. This Bucc'ees is alright, but it's like kind of smaller than the Texas ones, but yeah, it's Texas. But anyway, we're sore, but I think we've got about 300 or 400 miles till we get to the house, so trip's going good. I think I'd be end of the videotaping for now. I give you guys an update when our next stop, or if not, and see you when we get home. Catch you on the next one. Well, it's me again. We made it. This is gonna be the post ride video, and we just pulled in, unloaded, and about to get the racks off my bike. But yeah, they both made it. Put about almost 1,900 miles. Let's check it right now. Get you guys a second. If you guys can see that. That's right there, 1,897.6 miles. Hope you catch that. That I reset that 0 when we left this spot. What was it now? Wednesday morning. Last Wednesday morning. So anyway, I got a couple days off. My wife has to go back to work tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm gonna spend some time washing a couple of bikes. Yeah, they're covered up pretty good, both of them, with bugs and cow manure. Long story, but we made it. Hope you guys enjoyed this trip with us. I know it's videotaped and I didn't videotape, so yesterday was horrible. But anyway, hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next ride. Later.